What's going on, people? Good morning. Welcome to United View. Welcome to another episode of the Transfer View as we discuss the latest goings on at Manchester United. And of course, it is all going off. We said this back end of yesterday and during yesterday that it's all going off at Man United. There's a lot to happen. There's a lot to come. We need players. There's bids going in galore. There's talks and monitoring and aware-ofs all over the gaff. So we've got a lot to get into. You lot know the housekeeping rules. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And a big good morning to you. Let us know where you're watching from as well. A lot of people. Oh, what's that?
No, that's one of my favorite things to do is where you watch.
Oh, where they? Yeah, it's just good to know who's in the chat, where they're from.
Yeah,
I like it. What I also like is CH says Flex and Owen Dudley bros better call it out. I have to say the call it out. I think it's a new thing. We're gonna have to have a lead judges section.
Do you know what? Do you know what, Flex? Yeah, I didn't do it. But when I was watching the Flex and KG show yesterday, because I'm getting to grips of how this, I've got my sort of soundboard here, and I realized what I can do is I can set up different pages on there. So I've got different pages. I've got like a UV page. I've got my wrestling page, and I've got an archive page.
There you go.
Sounds I don't actually use that much anymore. So I was thinking, I've got to get a lead judges page. And the only reason I didn't do it yesterday is because I thought it was going to take a bit of time. But so many you could do. I watched his thing after you sort of did it, the Arteta.
Did you see what happened?
I
wasn't joking. That's what he actually said.
Exactly. Nah, Rob. No, honestly.
Mate, anytime I take the piss out of someone for a laugh, it's based off of real life. I never just make it up.
That was what he said as
based
well.
Off true events.
he went. It's like, Jaws, I don't want to get in that water.
It's going to bite my ass.
Yeah, it's going to bite my ass.
Lee Judges, I'm telling you, he is a phenomenal guy. Honestly, and he won't mind us, having a laugh.
No,
he's brilliant. He is brilliant. But yes, so call it out. Also on the show, if you see anything, hear anything, or you want to have yours say, call it out in the comments.
Call it out.
Call it out. Call it out. But straight, what we are going to call out is United agree Cucurella personal terms.
Yes.
It's moving very, very quickly, as we saw yesterday.
Yes, indeed it is. So, obviously, just after sort of Ornstein reporting that United had put a bid in, Fabrizio Romano had said that Manchester United really wanted to focus on Cucurella, and if they agreed personal terms, basically, they weren't going after any other left-back. Then it came out very quickly after that Fabrizio Romano understands that Manchester United have agreed an agreement or reached an agreement in principle with Cucurella on personal terms. The green light arrived on the player side. United won't negotiate any further for a left back now, as they want to get the Cucurella deal done with Chelsea ASAP. Do you think there's a chance today, Flex, that we get some kind of, they're pretty close on an agreement? The initial bid was it just over 2 million loan fee? I think Chelsea wanted, 7 or something like that? It would appear that the compromise is 4, maybe? 4 and a bit? Maybe a 5? Although 5's a bit. 7's a lot for a loan fee.
Mate, listen, we're like 1 million here, 2 million. That's what we've got to do. We've literally got every single million, has to be accounted for. The books are tight. Yeah. We're not being petty. It's true. Owen's right. We've got to think by the millionth degree, the millionth term. Remember the nth term in maths? I always think, why is that? Why did they say that?
Oh,
but anyway,
I used to hate it.
Honestly, let's not go down that route at 9:05. But I think it's going to happen very quickly. I remember when we said yesterday, Cucurella can't believe his luck, mate. He can't believe he was sitting there probably fit. And this is how quickly, transfer windows change, especially deadline day as you get towards the last few days, or when you get into the last sort of week. If you're a player who hasn't got their move yet, and you're kind of on the list / pending, or you're not in the manager's plans and you might be looking for a move, always in the last week, you've got to be on your toes. What's happened?
Well, no, it kind of ties into the left. No, it kind of ties into the left back situation. Just so this is why we're going for Cucurella.
How long?
On Good Morning Transfers this morning, it's been reported that Luke Shaw could be out for up to 3 months for Manchester United.
Who reported that? Who said that?
Is
it just a line?
It's James. I don't know how you say the last name.
Oh, James Savindra.
Yeah. James on the panel saying that Shaw could be out of action for up to 3 months, which is clearly news that Sky have got. That's kind of
Right.
General information that they have probably received. So 3 months. So that's
shall try to confirm where this has come from.
So that's basically what? September, October, November, possibly early December. Hence, we need a left back because Luke Shaw's, and given an injury that serious, you never know. There could be setbacks or there could be things that delay that kind of thing as well. So, given that news, we need to get Cucurella in.
Well, to be honest, we didn't not know that. We did know that.
No, we knew that. We knew a few months, didn't we? But when you hear
November,
3,
we said November, December. They were saying it the other day, weren't they? So that's the 3 months. That is.
But when you hear they go, 3 months, and you go December, that's when you start to go, that's a serious injury, isn't it? That's quite serious. And there are lots of different ramifications that come with that. Like I said, sometimes it's never as straightforward as, okay, they'll be definitely back on this date. Like there might be setbacks, particularly with a muscular injury. Remember with Dalot at the World Cup last year when he did his hamstring?
He was out,
and then he came back. He's like, it's fine. And then you spoke to him, wasn't it?
I do remember Owen.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
How's your hamstring? Fine. Next game, did it again.
Injured.
So the point being is that you can have the setbacks. So
musculars.
Not only will we without Luke Shaw until possibly November, December, but now and then with Malacia, that left back suddenly very, 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 very important. Hence why they're going into the market.
You know what? I've calmed down now, and we do have to get him. We do. We do have to get a left back. I know my initial thing was the Alvaro Fernandez situation. I said it, but I've had to move on from that really, really quickly because clearly them guys ain't coming back, and he thinks the load is too much of a risk. Because if Dalot pops down injured as well, and then you have just got this.
The only
guy.
Fullback is the only fullback
Alvaro
fit first team. Well, not even that. The only first team fullback is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That's the only. That's the only fullback.
Mad. You have to. We would be in trouble. And then to be fair, we would be saying, why didn't they sort it and stuff like that? So look, we didn't see this Luke Shaw thing coming. This Cucurella would never be at Man United if this didn't happen, which is insane, really. But we do have to look at the positives that it might not be that bad. I think now I have to get into my bag of saying, come on, Flex, just wise up. Who was good at Chelsea last year? Absolutely nobody. Absolutely nobody. And I know that he himself, Cucurella, personally, the problem is that he himself as an individual was at fault for quite a few goals, losing his duels, not looking really. But as a young player, I know, what's he, 25?
Not stepping up on the line.
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. But he did have 4 managers last year, something like that. And the guy who actually brought him in, who's his guy, left, and it was mayhem. So you could look at it that way, or you could look at it from the glass half empty, which is that he was fantastic at Brighton, and as soon as there was a level up, as soon as there was a step up, he struggled. Do you know what I mean? So, but I just think judging anybody, because I have to keep the same energy, because I did say it with Mason Mount. I think judging anybody last year at Chelsea just isn't a fair parameter. Because Kovacic, obviously it's a different ballgame because he's top-notch, world-class. Yeah. But he was crap last year. Every single person was rubbish at Chelsea last year. So I'm not trying to say Flex. Kovacic, Cucurella is better than Kovacic. It's not what
Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying. But I have to now be like, well, this is it. This is what it is. This is what it is. So
people will say, won't they, as well? Look, because it was before Chelsea swooped in last year, he was going to City. It was just a case
and they
of
wanted him
Brighton.
Bad.
It was just a case Brighton were pushing a really high amount. Even City went, no, we're not doing that. And I think, and because this is just how it works with Man City nowadays, had he have gone to City, he'd be really good. Because everyone that goes City ends up being really good. Even if they're average or they're good, they get transformed into something else, something better. Because that's what Pep does, is freak at this point. So, and maybe
we don't have that track record.
No, we do not. We do not. It's kind of the opposite. Kind of the opposite on that one. The people we've competed with City for, i.e. Alexis Sanchez, Harry Maguire, Cristiano Ronaldo, they tend to have not worked out historically over the last several years. And look, we are in the stage of justifying it because guess what? It's happening. And my opinion hasn't changed so much on that it's a mess. pure panic stations. We are in the territory of, like I said, with 2 days left, 48 hours of a transfer window, you ain't getting the best players. You're getting players that are available. And why are they available? Either they've fallen out and they're unhappy with people, or they're available because people don't want them because they're not good enough, or they're perceived to be
But
not
this
good
one
enough.
isn't actually Ten Hag, like the team's fault. Like Luke Shaw got injured for
No,
that long.
no.
That's not,
But I mean,
still injured.
in terms of quality, there is only a certain type of player available with 48 hours
So
to go.
So Owen, let me ask you this, and then let me ask you guys this as well then. Because obviously I've calmed down, so we've got to just put the questions out there.
Yes.
For the situation that you're saying, where if somebody's available at this stage, it means X, it means Y.
Mm-hmm.
For the quality that he is, which is good seasons, was it 2 good seasons at Brighton or 1?
Was he only there for a year?
I think it was 1.
I think he was there for a season.
Someone put it in the chat.
Because remember, like when he scored against us, I think that was his first season.
That was his first season.
And then again, that's under Ralph, isn't it?
Yeah. Let us, you guys, someone put it in the chat, but I'm pretty sure it was 1. But anyway, whether it's 1 or 2, with what he's there, how long he's been there for, and the level that's available, is he good quality considering it's late and you're trying to pick someone up? Or is it literally 50-50?
I saw who tweeted it? I think it was Scott from 90 Minutes. Big up Scott. And he was saying that realistically, when you look at all of the options available, like you just said, we need a left back because we do. When all of the options are available, it might be the best of a really bad situation. That's kind of that's my fit. That's how I've sort of settled on it. Like you said, I'm not as angry and as sort of eye rolling as I was a few days ago. I'm still like, and I still got Chelsea friends that are like, you're getting Cucurella because they saw him last season. They're like,
they're going to have that opinion.
Yeah, they're like, thank you very much. And they have an opinion on Mount as well. So they're like, oh, we fleeced you twice in one window, and they might have. You never know.
They might, but you never know. He could be really good.
But yeah, exactly.
If we do get the Brighton version, look, let's break him down a bit. He is good going forward. He is good on the ball. I'll give him that.
Technically, yeah,
he's good. Yeah, he's come out of Spain. They're cultured footballers. They understand how to play. He does have that. I just think when he went up a level, I think defensively, I know he was part of a back 5 at Brighton, where he was sort of tucked in left centre back, and he kind of did do that when he first came to Chelsea as well, didn't he? But sometimes at maybe left wing back or left back, it went a bit to shit for him. And I just think when you've got so many moving parts, he probably saying to himself, I know I'm better than this. I just need a fresh start. So for the player, and it is hopium United, like Lilywin just said there, it is hopium, but it's true. Like for him, he's saying, I just need a fresh start. And it don't come, absolutely, but the new start don't come much bigger than Man United. So he's buzzing. He's going to be ready to go because he's going to play. So if he's chomping at the bit, he's aggressive, he's up and down, then hopefully we see something that we didn't think we would see. Because as it stands now, I'm like, I ain't sure about this, but I'll take it because it's all we've got. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's the sort of territory I'm in where I go, look, we need a left back. And like I said, there's only a certain type of player available against someone where their current situation hasn't worked out. So given the possibilities, because there is a possibility that he could be good, you go, well, again, it is hope. That's what it is. It is purely hope. And there is you still do feel uncomfortable, don't you, about getting really, other top 6, top 7 rivals sort of cast-offs. Because that's who, again, we're being linked to. Cucurella gets a cast-off from Chelsea, Højbjerg, a cast-off from Spurs. He not wanted. Yeah. I mean, not wanted by their current setup, their current manager. And you do wonder why. You go, why aren't they wanted there? Like, what have they seen? What has Poch seen?
It's true. But if you, obviously, it depends what type of transfer. Because some transfers are, we just didn't want to let that player go, but the bigger team just came in. We couldn't say no. The money was too good. Like, players who go up a level. But players who are in and around clubs or the area of the league that kind of swap amongst themselves, you never really know how they're going to turn out. Sometimes it's like lease a new life and they just needed a new challenge. And then the selling club's like, bloody hell, they've come back to hurt us. Like, why did we do that? Or like you said, it's the other way around where, we fleeced you. Thanks for getting rid of, Chelsea were doing it to Arsenal for a bit, weren't they? When they got rid of Willian and like David Luiz, they were like, thank you. Exactly. Thank you. But then look what happened when Fernando Torres went to Chelsea. Look what happened when Alexis Sanchez came to to Man United. Look what happened when Mkhitaryan went to Arsenal. I'm trying to think of some other ones where players have crossed, Premier League borders and done really well.
Van Persie.
Yes. Berbatov, Carrick. But those are ones where you're kind of going up. But and they weren't Kyle Walker, and they weren't players that were like crap. Like when you're getting Berbatov from Spurs, you don't even get in at Spurs.
Oh. Yeah, I mean,
he's like the top guy.
There isn't like a historically. Maybe you can let us know. Maybe you can let us know in the chat. Is there an example of is there an example of a player that was, like I said, a bit of a cast off in a top 6 rival, going to another top 6 rival and getting better, and then sort of going, I tell you what,
Giroud, Kante, Sterling, Matic as well. But it's hard. You have to look at who the players. Zinchenko, Jesus, Pereira. You have to look at how good the player was at their team.
But so again, all of those ones are different situations because they weren't like with a few days left of the window and because they were desperate and they didn't have anyone else sort of thing.
They were kind of the plan.
What I mean? Exactly. I think you look at the tactics involved in it. And Ten Hag really wants to, obviously his fullbacks are super inverted. They're basically midfielders. Right? The fullbacks at the moment. And from that point of view, you could say Cucurella playing in the middle of the park, ball at his feet, in central positions. That could work. That could work more effectively.
Well, my Chelsea friend did say that to me because he doesn't really watch us. He was like, do you know what? If you play him kind of inverted, like, you know what all these managers trying to do, get him on the ball a little bit. He's actually technically sound, but I don't think Man United play like that. He said, don't you want a left back going up and down, crossing? And I said to him, well, actually, we do play like that. We do. We do have the invert. Look where Dalot was in the last game. Luke Shaw's done it quite a few times. They do depend on what side the ball's on, but they are building up with the fullbacks inverting. That is happening. So, yeah, let's see. Let's get to the super chats before we carry on. Paul Ross says, "Morning, you beautiful expletives,
bastards."
Yeah, he's excited. He's got, come on, morning. Austin Baker, been a member for 13 months. Austin says, "Big ups you both. Big ups you both." And chat, calling it out. We need this. We need this. This is it on UV clips because Flex's face the entire time had me in tears from laughing so hard. Glad you. Big up to you, Austin. Big up to you. So here says, yes, Flex, when are you next going to be in Bedford for football? I don't know. I like to play football sometimes. I'm not sure when I'm going to be there, bro. Dan says, Mount signing, Ten Hag is a giga brain and prioritized him as number 1. Mount is important to his plan to be able to retain possession high in the opponent's half. Bruno is not capable of ball retention, says Dan. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. And it's your first super chat. So big up to you, Dan. So, yes, to finish off, I think it's clear that we're probably going to get Marc Cucurella. United have agreed personal terms, which, let's be honest, we're never going to be. Never going to be an issue. I'm not sure if I want to come to you in this situation. Let me think about it.
I was getting ready for a season of not playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, I'm interested to know again what that sort of wage agreement looks like when it comes to the loan, because again, he's on a big deal, 175k a week. I keep going back to it, and if it comes out United are willing to pay all his salary, I'm like, excuse me,
and it won't be that. It definitely won't be that. Surely not. Surely not.
This is Man United, Flex. Anything is possible with wages, with wages and contracts. I wouldn't even be surprised if it comes out going, we've doubled it.
Moving on, McTominay price drop. Yes. Bargain sale, aisle 4.
Yes.
Time running out. Drop the price.
Call it out. James Tucker from The Telegraph is reporting that Manchester United were looking for between 40 to 45 million pounds for Scott McTominay earlier on in the summer, but they could potentially accept less at this late stage, even if time is running out to bring in midfield reinforcements. According to James Tucker, Ten Hag would favour, and we'll whisper it, Flex, Sofyan Amrabat. Now, maybe. So the report is that maybe they might drop that asking price. Of course, he's been linked to Bayern Munich. So maybe that Bayern Munich one could indeed happen. And James Tucker is saying that Ten Hag would favour Amrabat, despite other journalists saying, Amrabat ain't coming, mate. No chance whatsoever. Where do you sit on McTominay's future? And how are you feeling about Amrabat today?
Well, I like how you sneak that one at the end. Well, basically, that means that I'm just kind of adding it up and just computing in my brain. Really, McTominay going on loan doesn't really help us unless we only get Gravenberch, unless we get Gravenberch swap.
Yes.
Because what they're basically saying is we need a sale, which we always knew. Donny, I don't know what. Why is it not intense talks? What? Why do we not know a thing? It's so quiet on Donny.
It's like
I know
you
asked me about
a
McTominay.
ghost.
Exactly, a wraith, a fan. I know you haven't asked me specifically about Donny, but it feeds into this because I'm like, he's just going to get like an emergency loan last minute then, because a sale at this point is just looking like there's no talks. The Sociedad thing's gone. Like what's going on? And so that leads on to McTominay, and at the moment, like you said, it looks like we need a sale from him, and that's too much at this late stage of the window where we really need to get him gone if you want Sophia Amrabat. So I don't know. If you want to sell him, you do have to drop the price. No one's going to pay 40 to 45 now. Everyone's at the last bit of the window. Everyone's got the last bit of the budget left. Everyone's trying to be creative with what they've got left, whether it's loan to buy, loan with obligation, loan with no obligation, cheaper fee, cheaper wages, whatever it is. This is where deals you might get better value for it now as a buying club as opposed to a selling club, because selling clubs usually need the players gone to go and do something else, which is us. And buying clubs obviously need the player, but they know that the player's not settled. You haven't used him in pre-season.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? If you're good at planning, like an Ajax last season, if bids come in for your players late on in the window, you go, look, our business is done. We don't need to sell all that kind of stuff, so you can charge high. United find themselves in a situation where with 2 days left, it's all out chaos and panic. And they're like, well, we need to sell to buy. So those prices that we set earlier on are going to have to come down if we want to bring in other people. So with McTominay, like they said, it might have been 40 or 45. Most likely now it comes down to about 30, 35. And the irony being is, it's basically what West Ham offered a few weeks ago, isn't it?
I wonder how true that was. Like, because, I know it was in we knew that it was there because we saw a lot of reports. But I wonder where it was at. Did McTominay just rubbish it and say, definitely ain't going there? Don't even ask me. I'll just stick my head. No way. Or was it over really quickly because Man United went, no, it's nowhere near. We're not even picking up the phone to you. But you can take Harry Maguire. Will agree that. I wonder because sometimes we make our minds up that, well, that's what happens. And Man United said no, and it's their fault.
Yeah.
Which it probably was, knowing Man United. But you just never know.
And also as well, I think what's interesting about the McTominay thing is I think they assumed at the time, and I suppose I did because I was at the time going, no, they're right to turn it down, get the most money possible. And I still stand by that. But I think it was certainly myself, was under the mindset of other players were going to go. And nothing's happened basically since then. I think it was, like I said about Donny, I think it was, but Donny's going to go 15 million. That'll be fine.
Exactly.
No problem. This player's going to go, be fine. And just nothing really happened all that much. Now it's like, well, actually, we've got to drop that down because he is technically the biggest sale we can do. He's homegrown. It's pure profit, FFP point of view. Just got rid of Henderson, 20 million again, pure profit, FFP point of view. So you've got a realistic sort of pure profit of about 50 million you can spend. And I'm telling you now, Fleck, if we get to the end of the window, if we sold McTominay for 30, Henderson for 20, and we're just bringing in loans and we're not actually putting money down on the table.
That's Glazeonomics at its finest.
I'd be absolutely, we got in a couple of loans. We got in Gravenberch on loan through it. Excuse me? Because it might be part of the deal. Can you imagine going, we're going to sell him to, the realistic best bit of business that you could do involving Scott McTominay is sell him to Bayern Munich 30 to 35. As part of that, they go, look, we don't want to let Gravenberch go permanently. All right, we'll take him on loan for a season, maybe an option to buy, throw it in there, see what happens. And then you get Amrabat too. You get a 2-for-1 kind of situation, plus Cucurella. Because we were chatting about this yesterday, I think, on the phone, weren't we? That the whole Gravenberch, Højbjerg, and Amrabat situation, even if we didn't get Amrabat, but we got Højbjerg and Gravenberch, I'll take that because you just need more in there. It's not my preferred option because I'd prefer Amrabat out of all three. But if you could get two involved in that, that's better, is it not? But at the same time, this is Manchester United, and I'm living in a fantasy world. I'm not unaware of that. I mean, these are deals that competent football clubs could do. We were saying last week, weren't we? Why is no one going for loan to buys? Everyone else is doing them.
We never get creative. We never get creative.
Loan to buy. They go, what? You can do that.
They never get creative. It's we will get Cucurella, and I think we will get a central midfielder, whether it's Højbjerg, Gravenberch, Amrabat, or someone we ain't even heard of. I think we'll get a one midfielder. And I think we'll get a left back. But it just goes to show you,
KG in the middle. Huh? KG in the middle.
KG in the
middle. Kevin Gary.
Just get him, bring in Boy Kev.
From the ship.
100%. But like we to be able to be in this position and like the sales issue, like it's clear, it's clear what Ten Hag's plan with Maguire is. Strip him of the captaincy, let him take the hint, and he's probably told the board, I don't want this guy. He ain't gonna play. Find a solution. Now they did, and they accepted the bids with West Ham. That's what we do know. But then Maguire dug his heels in, and it's that Ten Hag having to contend with. I always say it's sins of the past. Trying to unpick this squad and undo this squad when he does want to get rid of people. Because Man United don't sell well, and it's difficult to shift players on. He's also pretty much made it clear. Let's be honest, that he doesn't fancy Scott McTominay. He doesn't. Only apart from coming on to win some headers to see the game out. He don't fancy it. He goes to Eriksen every day in the week and twice on Sunday before he goes to McTominay. We've seen it all last year when it was Eriksen playing in the main midfield, and all last year when it wasn't Eriksen playing in the midfield, it would be Fred, not McTominay. So, and now Fred's gone. He's definitely don't want McTominay. So and even in the first 3 games, you can see the lack of use, the lack of changing the squad for some physicality or someone what Scott offers. He ain't on it. So you don't want him either. And again, Man United can't get it done. We're not attractive when we sell players. We're not ruthless in the selling market. We're not good at doing it. So Erik Ten Hag, and then plus FFP, Glazonomics, all of the other stuff. So on one hand, yes, Erik Ten Hag, you have to hold him accountable for some players. He did stand by, the Antonys, the Mounts, and, he bought these players, etc., etc. But on the other hand, and trying to shape this squad to where he really wants it, he's just unable to do it properly and efficiently. He just can't do it at the rate that he wants to do it. And we do need to remember that as fans. And I'm talking to myself here because I'm like, I want to see more by now. I mean, we're getting to game 4 of year 2. So I get it. It's still very early. But I do want to see more with how the squad's shaping up and the way that we do business and how efficient we can be and how astute we could be in the market. But the reality is that just still isn't going to happen under this regime. 1, with the Glazers, and 2, with the people who actually do deals. It just isn't going to happen. And 3, the types of players that we have to undo. Big contracts, big wages, tactically don't fit anymore. So he's got a lot to contend with.
No, I agree. We've got a ton of super chats, by the way, Fleck.
Yes, let's get them. Lil Yo-Yo, no, let's go to that. Yeah, Lil Yo-Yo says, cool it.
Cool it.
Cool it. What midfielder will we sign?
Will we sign?
I'll say
it feels, unfortunately, I have to agree with you that it feels the most likely. Although some of the prices that have been quoted are like Spurs are looking for like 30+ million or 35 million.
Jesus.
If that is the case, no chance.
What if it's a swap McTominay for Højbjerg?
No, because again, if from a selling point of view, he's the most we can get from an FFP point of view. That would be bad business.
And if you keep Højbjerg for 1 extra year, you ain't going to be able to sell him for 30, 35 in a couple of years after using him. You're not. Matty Flu says, call it out. Owen, you've been defending Scott's price, saying we need to sell for more than 30 million that we got offered. Now look, window is closing and midfield is not any better. What do you say now? And I think you already touched on that. And I'm in this camp as well because
exactly. I think when you've got 2-3 weeks left of the window and they come in and your valuation is 40 and they come in with 30, I think you're right to turn it down. Now, it's very easy in hindsight. Now the situation we're in, we should have accepted it.
Owen's fault.
But at the time, you should absolutely go, no, let's negotiate. The problem is no negotiating happened afterwards. West Ham went, right, we'll go get someone else. But at the same time,
again, got Alvarez, who's better.
that was the biggest sell we can do, and it still is the biggest sell we can do this summer. And you know, so I still stand by turning it down. I think it's very easy in hindsight. We should have accepted that back then, but we don't. You know, we don't live in a world of if, buts, and maybes. You know, at the time, with 2 or 3 weeks left, you turn it down and say it's 40. You hope they come back in. If they don't, you go, they'll come back in later on and we'll still charge 40. And other teams come in, maybe from Bayern Munich. They might have to drop it down, but again, they have to drop it down now. Why? Because they're desperate. I think they thought at the time too, oh yeah, we're going to sell Donny. That'll be 15. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And it didn't happen. They didn't think at the time Luke Shaw was going to get injured, so they'd have to put that money over to that side as well. So I don't change my mind on that. I think it's very easy to say that with hindsight.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Hindsight is a beautiful thing. Carl says, I disagree, Owen. Better loan now, except for Amrabat. Else we get stuck. What on earth?
Fucking reckless! That's fucking reckless! You're gonna give me yellow.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Shit. What? How, though? It's so significant. I feel like Nubian Pharaoh just needs, like Tariq. Yeah. A moment of silence, yeah. Everything has to cease.
Believe.
Jeez. And do you know what as well? Do you know what's insane from Nubian Pharaoh? Is the casual nature.
Yeah.
Nubian Pharaoh is coming in talking about basically how, I don't know if it's a girl or a boy, how they feel.
Yeah.
Just frustrated, but just casual frustration. Unbelievable. Well, what we will do is do things in the order because Carl and Curtis have both got comments before this. So let's do that first. And then it will be Nubian Pharaohs. And Ash Odu as well. Right. Carl Bates says, I disagree, Owen. Better loan now except for Amrabat. Else we get stuck in the same cycle with overpaid players who can't get sold later, like Donny van der Beek. So it's better to loan now?
I think referring to maybe the midfielders, like I was saying, get 2 midfielders. Yeah. One of them in Gravenberch would be a loan in that instance. And I said, I think what we said before, Højbjerg might be the one that's almost more likely to happen. In an ideal world, it would be Amrabat and get Gravenberch on loan. That would be the ideal world. But unfortunately, with United, we don't really live in one at the moment. But yeah. I do agree with that. I don't want to get Højbjerg. I don't want.
Yeah, you don't want it to happen. Yeah, I hear you. A lot of people aren't against that. Curtis Thomas, latest member of the UV Members Club. Big up to you, Curtis. Appreciate you joining the family. Anyone else, you can join the membership as well, just as Curtis has done just then. You get your exclusive perks, you get your emojis, you get your priority chat, and maybe, to a lot of people, most importantly, you can have your say on match day, calling into the full-time view, no matter where you are in the world with that. So, yeah, members. And you get your UV Raw behind-the-scenes content as well. Nubian Pharaoh with a £500 super chat, a £499 99 super chat.
500.
Yes, exactly. First of all, big up to you. Thank you so much for your generosity and supporting the channel. That goes. It's an understatement to say how far that goes in supporting the channel to keep going, keep getting better. That is just beyond anything I thought was even possible. What you did the last time, I didn't think was possible. What was that? £100?
It might have been the same, you know.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, because I said I don't even think you could do that, and someone said it goes up to 500 at the time as that. So
it was red.
It was red, but I think it was
a redder, and it was no message. I think it was the same. I think it was the same.
Really? No, it wasn't, because someone said it goes up to something else.
Someone said it might be 290. It might have been 300.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
It might have been only.
Yeah, 300. There you go. Yeah. Look at you. You've changed. I do remember it being 300. Anyway, Nubian Ferro's probably like, listen, I don't want all this fuss. Just read my. Because when you come in with that level of super chat, but you've put in the words. Just
exactly.
That means you don't care. But we are very appreciative to you. Nubian Ferro says, my dear fellows, I'm becoming increasingly angry, frustrated, and damn near, don't be suicidal, at the antics of my club, Manchester United. I cannot understand how the slithering board of directors are acting like paupers. Damn, I'll give them 50 million just to get things done. Anyway, lads, good show. Well, people
and the thing is, he will. They will.
People in the chat are saying, "Can you buy Maguire?"
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I'm still pushing the conspiracy theory that Nubian is actually Sheikh Jassim. You know what I mean? Yeah. The representative of the 9-2 Foundation in the chats. I'm still going with that conspiracy theory.
Josh says, obey every word of the Pharaoh. It's just unbelievable. And at the end, anyway, lads, good show.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Nubian.
Unbelievable. Thank you very much, Nubian. Ash Odu says, Flex Nubian is definitely Qatari. Flex Altani? ? I don't know where Nubian Pharaoh's from. I have no idea. My guess is as good as yours. They've just appeared out of nowhere and just started doing this madness. Aminor says, has Nubian Pharaoh taken Zayn Miassi's credit card? Yeah, and cloned it 3 times over. Even Zayn wasn't doing this.
Zayn Miassi, yeah,
Zayn is the original, though.
He's and the best thing I like with Zayn is when you're watching some like other completely random football channel and he shows up and you go, Zayn Miassi, where are you? Everywhere.
He's there. I'd love to meet Zayn Miassi in real life. And Nubian Pharaoh. V33 says, love, call it air. Make it into a segment, please. A lot of people are asking for it. We're gonna have to have like a, when on shows it has like a little promo intro. Bit, a little intro, and it goes into.
And now it's time
for Call It Out.
Lee Judge head popped up. Call it out.
Josh, I know you got a lot on right now, so not this week, but there's something else added to the list. There's a lot on. So I know.
In a short period of time, 24 hours, you've got to turn around.
Yeah, there's no deadline on this one, Josh. But the people have spoken. They want a Call It Out segment that we can just draw upon at any moment, whether it's in the Flex and KG show or this or that. I don't know, but they want it. They want the graphic. They want the intro. They want a Call It Out section. Ray S says, I highly rate Gravenberch. I think him alone will take our window from a 4 to an 8. Wow. He's going under the radar. Only Man United and Liverpool only in for him. Really rating Gravenberch there as well, says Ray S. So, yeah, hopefully you're right, mate. Hopefully we do get him. He does elevate us. Yeah. To be honest with you. Right. Rashford wins a PFA award. What did he win?
He won an award yesterday, did Marcus Rashford. It was official. Marcus Rashford was voted the PFA's Premier League Fans Player of the Year. Would you say he was deserving of that award, considering the season he had?
Is it our fan? Well, it's PFA, though. So
PFA, I think it's just that they put up a poll and people vote. Problem is, it's a bit like when Premier League Player of the Month, when those things get nominated. If a Man United player or manager is nominated for Premier League player, they win. Yeah, we make sure they win. But it's good. I saw who won. Was it? Because I saw Bukayo Saka won an award last night as well.
Yeah,
and I think it does get kind of overlooked the season that he had last year, because he did have a very good season, didn't he? But it's almost because of the way maybe it ended a little bit. A bit sort of
single-handedly.
You do kind of forget, don't you, a little bit? But he did have a very impressive season last season, no doubt about that. I find it almost a little bit weird, though, like now, we're firmly into the new season. So when you have to reflect on last season, it feels already like a lifetime ago, really, doesn't it? Not to say that you shouldn't get your awards or anything like that, but sometimes it's a little bit like,
No, exactly. Obviously, Erling Haaland got the PFA player overall out, of course, all the goals he scored. Saka got young player. No problem with that. He's been brilliant last year. Fans player. So that means that the PFA, that means that it's the professionals and the media and that who vote for the other ones, and then the fans get a chance to vote.
Yeah.
For this one, and they voted Rashi. So that's across all clubs that did that then.
I would assume so.
He's not in a team of the year, though. He's not in a team of the year.
But like I said, when it's, for instance, when they do have a player of the month or manager of the month in the Premier League and they go, these are your nominees, vote. That means Mark. Because Rashford, how many times did Rashford win it last year? Was it 3 times? He won it last year.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And that's because if he gets nominated, they're winning. Yeah, that's what's happening. Same with Ten Hag. If he gets nominated, they're winning because we're massive, basically. But no, I think he deserves some credit for the season he had last year. I mean, as much as the Rashford criticism or slander that he gets, without him last year, we'd have been in. He got 30. Was it 30 goals, no comps? We didn't have those 30 goals. We'd be in big trouble because no one else scoring goals at Man United last season. So, it does deserve credit.
I think up Ian Wright. Just see Ian Wright. He got a PFA Merit Award as well. That's good to see. Ian Wright got that. Uncle Wrighty. Lauren James. Yeah, Young Player of the Year as well. I mean, you can't look past what Rashi did last year, scoring that many goals across all comps as well. Like, he had to dig us out of a lot of holes when nobody else was really scoring. It's either really Bruno who has to do it, and last year it was Rashi. And to get that tally, his best ever, you can't look past it. And I know we do get frustrated with Rashi sometimes, a lot, because of playing style and things he needs to develop, and obviously kind of petered out towards the end. But in that period where he scored that amount of goals, he was up there with the best in numbers in Europe. He was.
Yeah, I mean, I think back to obviously we're playing Arsenal at the Emirates this weekend. I think back to when we played them last season, rather. It was early this year at the Emirates, and the goal he scored there out of nothing. Remember that? He
just nutmeg Partey like he weren't there.
Smashes it. Yeah. And we were like, oh my God.
Yeah, because
we were going into it being like, we were in half decent form. We just drew with Palace. Casemiro's missing, and we were like, it's not going to go well with this. And obviously, ultimately, it didn't. But when he scored, everyone was like, oh my God. Rashford scored because he was in that level of form. When they're doing stuff out of nowhere, like the top players. When you go, I didn't even see him. I couldn't even believe they did it. Like he was doing that last year.
If Rashford looks back on that period, that's in a period where, as a player, you just say everything I'm touching just turning gold.
Yeah, like, I can take a shot from 25 yards. It's going in.
It's like basketball. I used to play basketball quite a decent level growing up, and it's like when you're in that zone, just give me the ball, man. I'm hot. Just give me the ball. I want to keep shooting, keep driving. I'm winning fouls. I'm making layups. I'm hitting threes. I'm pulling up jumpers. Like I'm in the zone. Just keep feeding me the ball.
It's like that with goalkeeping as well. Sometimes I've had games. Remember when I was playing where you go, I'm saving everything today. Like and
you can't even know how.
Yeah, and you don't even. And literally, you go, you're so confident and so like just might be your day or whatever that you're going. Any shot they take at me, I could save it today. I feel like what I mean. Anything. And it's a wild feeling, isn't it? It's amazing how your head works, how your brain works. Because realistically, physically, there's not that much difference in you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, there isn't.
But it's that feeling of being invincible.
Yeah. Wassa says, just keep him on the left with an arrow pointed to the left at all times. Must be on the left, nowhere else. We've got a couple of other ones to get through just really quickly before we wrap up.
Yes.
Before we do that, though, Ray S says, breaking news, Sky Sports secure Flex for 5 years. News to me. Let me check the inbox if that's happened yet. No. UK UV version of Ref Watch. Cool air, says Craig McKinnon. 100%. And Lil I want to see it. They want to see it, Josh. Lil Yo-Yo says, Fleck Curry with the shot, boy. Yeah, 100%. And yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Flex struggling to multitask.
I was trying to find something out, but that wasn't it, because it would have been something that I was going to bring to you, lot, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Right. Onana, and a little bit on Tagliafico. What's the latest on them two?
So this is quite interesting with Andre Onana. So obviously there was the reports last week coming from Cameroon. Onana's going to be called up. Then there was reports from The Athletic. We've spoken to people close to Onana, and he said it's impossible for him to return to international football. Well, yesterday, the Cameroon squad was announced for their upcoming fixtures in September, and Andre Onana was included, leading to suggestion he's back in the good graces. He's made up with the manager, Song for Cameroon, so he's going to probably be playing in AFCON this coming January. Now, James Ducker from The Telegraph is reporting that Man United could lose Andre Onana for up to 5 weeks during AFCON in January, But they also say, as again come from the Telegraph, there has been no confirmation yet on Andre Onana's return to the national team from sources close to the player or United. So we might kind of find ourselves in a situation a little bit where he's been called up, but we still don't know whether he's going to go back, which to me seems a bit odd because...
Yeah, because he has definitely officially been called up.
Yeah, exactly. The graphic was there. They announced the squad and all that, but it's still a bit of a discrepancy as to whether he's even going to show up. I don't know. Yeah. And I put this out there yesterday on X that surely United, they must have been aware of this, or at least at the very least they would have had conversations first when you're buying him. What's the international situation looking like, mate? And going, I'm not going back. Or even before the squad's announced, you're going, hey, Andre, we're hearing some things. Are you going back to international football? What's going on? And some of the reaction was, well, you have to, because I saw Minna say this actually. She said, you have to kind of assume that was always going to be the case. And I kind of pushed back on that a little bit. And I go, you can assume, but you would think he was part of a multi-million-pound transfer. You'd ask, or you'd like to know if indeed that was going to be the case. And then it does
maybe they did, and he said it is, or I don't know. We'll see what the future holds.
Yeah, but it does seem to be a bit sort of murky. And other people said to me, well, that's why we're getting a backup goalkeeper. And I pushed back on that, and I go, well, it's not. The reason we're getting a backup goalkeeper is we just sold our backup goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. So we were always going to get one because we were going to sell Henderson to raise funds. That wasn't it had nothing to do with Andre Onana. So I think it's a really curious situation in how much did United know or not know. And I'm definitely not saying, before people misinterpret this, because they go, what, you saying that he shouldn't represent his country at AFCON? No, of course I'm not saying that. I found it, absolutely ridiculous. Remember the last AFCON tournament where they were sitting people like Mane and Salah down going, you're going to play in January? Of course I am. Why wouldn't I play? I'm representing my country. How dare you? You wouldn't say that to me if I was going to the Euros or anything like that. Yeah. So I've got no problem with Andre Onana playing in it and anything like that if he wants to return to international football. But it does seem a strange situation, doesn't it? That he's been called up, but no one really knows.
But I think it's just the reason why I'm like indifferent about it. Like I'm not mad thinking, oh, now he's going to go AFCON. I'm like the situations and the conditions under which he left. What show you that that's not normal. Storming out the camp, it was because they wanted to kick long and he didn't want to do it, or arguments. Roy Keane back in 2002.
Yes,
was it 2002? Yeah, Mick McCarthy was it? Yeah. It happens. Players leave camps, don't get on with the manager. I'm not coming back until the manager changes, or it's happened loads of times. And so I wasn't really in a headspace of like, well, he's definitely never going to play for Cameroon again, so I don't have to worry about that. And I just think when you just buy African players, you always have to have it in your head, depending on who they play for. Unless they've announced officially they are retired.
Yeah.
You always kind of have to have it there. And I think with the character that Andre Onana is, and this isn't to do with that, but with what Eric Ten Hag experienced with him before, with the situation with the ban, then the walking away out of the camp. And I just think that it's a bit murky. And look, he's still posting cryptic messages. It's just a little bit murky. You don't really know what's going on. I think I'm more frustrated. I just want to know. Like, it's fine if he's going to go there. We've bought an African keeper who's played a lot of times for Cameroon. He's had a little bit of a falling out, but that could be patched up quite easily. It happens all the time.
Yeah, I don't think it would have prevented United from buying him. Put it this way, like
no, it wouldn't stop me from going in for him.
No, it was almost like some people viewed it as maybe a bit of an added bonus, wasn't it? Like, well, we're not going to lose him in January.
It was a bit of an added bonus.
But I'm not saying like, if we'd have known, we'd have never gone in for Andre Onana, because we definitely, I think we would have. Again, when you sign a player that's an African player, you know that's the case. Whenever there's an AFCON tournament, you're going to have them missing for a period of time in January. It is what it is. But it's more just, again, sort of the current situation. How informed is everyone? And also, there's still, like I said, a bit of sort of confusion as to, is he even going to accept the call up? And
that's what we don't know, because I don't know what he was saying. I saw a translation. I don't know how accurate it is. I don't speak French. I think it was French. Sort of saying it's a bit cryptic, but I read it as, is he saying that they're saying I'm going back, but they're talking rubbish? I'm not. Or look, I'm back. You all blamed me, but look, they've asked me back, so that proves that I didn't do anything in the. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. And what we do know is Onana is a character. He is a character. So there you go. Before we wrap up, big up to everyone. Amazing super chat there. from Nubian Pharaoh. It's ridiculous. And all the super chats and everybody else who's got involved in the comment section, in members section and super chat section. Everybody getting involved today. Over 2,000 people watching. What I have noticed before we leave is that only 360 likes. They've started going up before I said it because you lot realised what I was going to get to. So I'll say 5 is the magic number usually. So if we can get to that 5, it would be great.
Yeah, indeed. Well, there you go, guys. As Flex mentions, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. More content coming. We'll probably be live at some point with more transfer news. And check out all of the previews that are on the horizon. We're out of it. Peace.